Lake Erie erosion.
I won't be lakefront for a while. I'm the third cottage in, but I could see it happening.
A whopping 60 feet cut from the coastline. The primary cause and what can be done to fix it. Also, fiery crash. The Daytona 500 ends on a scary note. We'll have an update on the driver's condition, and Will Ewick joins us from Florida with the local connection to the race. Tribe time. Dave Chudowski reports from Indian Spring Training in Goodyear on how confident the team is that this year will bring another playoff run. Dog Detective. Go on the hunt with a woman dedicated to reuniting distraught owners with their missing pets. And freezing your fat.
And I did the rubbing and the massage. I even did with my hands, like kneading dough. Yeah.
The latest trend for shaping your stomach. We found 3 products promising to slim your waistline for $100 or less. What happens when we actually put them to the test?
From the WKYC studios, this is What's Next.
And good evening, I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Sarah Schuckman, and Jimmy's going to get into the talk surrounding Cavaliers coach John Beilein in just a little bit.
But first, take a look at this. An unfrozen Lake Erie eating away at the coastline, carving out some 20 yards or so in some spots.
Local leaders consider this an erosion emergency. Tiffany Tarpley reports on the cause and what's being done to fix the problem.
We've been battling our erosion since 1987.
It's not a new problem, but it is getting worse.
It's not just Geneva on the Lake, it's everywhere.
Cindy Harkless's family home in Geneva on the Lake is near a private beach that's once again starting to erode. Neighbors got together in the late 80s to fix the problem themselves, but now, thanks to record high water levels as well as an unfrozen and rough Lake Erie, the issue is back.
In the last year and a half, the rings have started to crack and move because of the erosion.
She's one of dozens of people who live in neighboring communities in Ashtabula County who packed Village Hall Monday night in hopes of finding answers. A huge focus of this informal meeting was on the cost to shore up public roads and other areas that, if further damaged, could impact things like sewer pipes and gas lines.
We're proactive, and we're trying to, come up with a solution for this. And if we obviously, it's more money than the village can afford to take it on themselves, so that's why we're looking for some help.
There's a levy on the ballot in March and requests to the state for financial assistance. Representative John Patterson says these lake issues could be the new norm.
Sometimes it takes a crisis like this to get us working in the right direction.
For Cindy and others, they're hoping the right direction is now.
I won't be lakefront for a while. I'm the third cottage in, but I could see it happening.
So Cindy is also concerned about having to pay to fix the private beach she shares with her neighbors and being taxed to fix the village's issues as well. Russ, there are 2 bills moving through the state legislature which could offer some financial relief overall, but it's unclear exactly when those could actually go through.
All right, Tiffany, thank you. Now to a fiery, heart-stopping crash at today's Daytona 500 in Florida.
Driver Ryan Newman is in the hospital in serious condition after a wreck on the last lap.
Crash into the wall, into the air goes Newman.
Upside down.
In a shower of sparks on his roof.
Amazingly, Newman's injuries are said to not be life-threatening. The winner of the race, Denny Hamlin, said tonight, quote, "I'm praying for Ryan." Now, weather postponed yesterday's race until tonight.
And it's been a busy few days for a local businessman whose team owns a car that ran in the 500. Our Will Ewick is in Florida with that story.
Yeah, guys, good evening from Daytona International Speedway, where, as you mentioned, that crash brought everything to a somber mood here in Daytona. But a lot of Northeast Ohio race fans were watching all day yesterday and today to root on a car that has roots that go all the way to Hudson, Ohio.
It's a lot of fun. It's very busy. You need a little bit of patience, but it's very exciting. The adrenaline is definitely pumping.
As thousands of fans watched in person and from home, but they looked close enough at one of the 40 cars racing, they'd see a piece of Northeast Ohio.
If you would have said as a kid, maybe someday you can race in it, then that's more believable. Thanks, Rand. Appreciate it.
Former Akron University quarterback.
Let's go.
And current Cleveland businessman Matt Collig has been a NASCAR fan since he was a kid. And for the past 6 years, he's been working his way up in the sport. First as a sponsor, then an owner in the Xfinity Series, and now?
It's my first 500, you know, as an owner. So it's just really, it's really cool.
He's walking the pits as the owner of a car in the Great American Race.
I mean, this is one of the biggest sporting events in the world. It's broadcast in 199 countries. So the gravity of it all, it's actually bigger than I anticipated, to be honest with you.
The 16 car started the race in the 33rd spot, battled through several crashes to finish 13th. A promising finish and an important finish for colleague and his driver, Justin Haley, who brought race fans from Northeast Ohio along for the ride.
Well, I'm an Indiana boy, so, you know, it's kind of similar, Ohio and Indiana. So definitely love my Midwest states. And, you know, it was good to get colleague racing the first top 15 and everything like that. So awesome day for Matt, colleague, and everyone involved.
The Daytona 500 will not be colleague racing's only Cup Series race this year. Matt says he plans on coming back here to Daytona later this year, as well as a few other races. And whether or not it leads to a full Cup schedule in the future, Matt just smiled and said, we'll see. Reporting from Daytona tonight, Will Ewick, 3 News.
From racing to spring training baseball, the Indians are in Arizona, and so is our Dave Chudowski, who has the story of a team that, despite a quiet winter of wheeling and dealing, remains optimistic.
Hi, everybody, from gorgeous Goodyear, Arizona, where the Indians held their first full squad workout today. You know, usually at this time of year, we're talking about how the Indians can take that next step, win one more game or get out of the ALDS. But this year, we're talking, can they get back into the playoffs? Can they rule the Central again, or have they officially passed the torch?
A grand slam down the right field line.
93 wins last year, 2 more than the year before, and 1 shy of 2016 when they went to the World Series. But it wasn't enough to make the playoffs, and some think the Indians' window is closing.
I'm excited. I can't wait to show the world what we have in our city, and looking forward to it. I love telling doubters to shut up.
When analyzing the Indians, is the concern internal or is it really external? The main problem last year was the Minnesota Twins, 101 wins. The Twins are favored to repeat. Their over-under in Vegas for wins is 91.5, 5 more than the Tribe. While the Indians were mostly quiet in the offseason, the Twins loaded up. Also a player in the game now after a big offseason, the White Sox. Their payroll is around $118 million. Meanwhile, the Indians have slashed their payroll over $40 million in 2 years.
I think we're always going to be confident in this team's ability. I think we have a great group of guys, a lot of talent. You know, if we play our best game, then I think we'll be hard to beat.
So the Indians believe they can get back. We'll see if they can do it once the season begins. Bottom line, it will not be easy in this division anymore, and they hope to return to the playoffs after missing last year for the first time in 4 years. In Goodyear, Arizona, Dave Chudowski, 3 News.
Back home now, the search for a lost husky is getting a lot of attention in Strongsville.
And a unique local nonprofit is lending a hand now. Remy's Pet Recovery provides safe and humane capture of stray and lost dogs. Lena Lai takes us on the search tonight.
Hot French fries, chicken nuggets.
It's dinner time, but not for Vanessa Petrosky, who's laying bait around and inside a trap.
I hope he visits.
To catch an especially elusive husky.
Dogs this skittish are really challenging and hard to get.
Petrosky is the founder of Remy's Pet Recovery, a nonprofit organization searching for the 4-year-old husky who jumped a fence 2 days ago. With no shelter or easy food, her owner's worried sick.
It's also winter, so there is an extent of how long she can be out.
The search has people in Strongsville tracking her story on social media, and recent sightings have strangers wanting to join the search, but Petrosky says that often backfires with lost dogs.
They go into a different mindset, and now it's survival mode, they call it. So, and it saw family members yesterday, and it just took off.
In fact, calling her name scares her more, which is why we've decided not to name the lost pup. So, with a freshly baited trap
I'm here, I always put food so they smell it,
and a trail camera helping it keep watch at a distance,
I just hit the notification, there's a picture.
Petrosky now waits. Hours later, in the dark of night, bingo! The hungry husky spotted snacking around the trap, coming ever so close, but after 10 minutes, she left.
I'm very hopeful, and I think that it's going to work.
And when patience does pay off for Petrosky, it's priceless.
When I can get the dog returned to the owner, it makes it all worth it.
No rescue tonight, but Petrosky is thrilled that the husky is very interested. So Petrosky will be back out tomorrow to bait just the trap and not the ground around it. If you'd like to learn more about her nonprofit From Remy's Pet Recovery and how you can help, we have the story on WKYC.com. Sarah.
We were waiting all night to see what was going to happen in this case. So let's hope they...
Sausages will do the trick tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thanks, Lena.
You bet.
Coming up tonight, the battle of the bulge and the products that promise to freeze the fat right off.
But do they work? Our consumer investigator Danielle Serino puts them to the test. And Matt Wintz is in for Betsy tonight. Beautiful day today, Matt.
Yeah, it was nice early, but things have changed, Sarah, across Northeast Ohio. We've got heavy rain moving into portions of Lorain County right now, stretching back towards Medina, all courtesy of this weather system that's going to zip through tonight. We'll let you know what that spells for your morning rush hour, and we'll take the forecast over the next 10 days. Coming up.
What's Next is sponsored by the Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. It's time to fall in love again with your home.
You may have seen the highway billboards or TV commercials for procedures that help get rid of fat cells by freezing them away.
Our consumer investigator Danielle Serino tested 3 at-home products that claim they'll get you similar results without the pain and at a fraction of the price.
The chances of any of us looking like this,
I eat out too much,
are slim to none.
Your girl's gonna eat mashed potatoes. Like, I don't have time to figure out my salad and color coordinate my plate.
32% of Americans are overweight.
6 packs is cool, but a case take care of the whole party.
But while you may think you've got to get hot and sweaty to shape up, the latest trend says, nope, you've got to chill.
Cool Sculpting safely freezes and removes fat cells with little or no downtime.
Procedures like that, though, are pricey. So we found products that promise similar results for less than $100.
Fat cells can be both shrunken and permanently destroyed by direct cold exposure.
The Isovera fat freezing system is described as a non-invasive way to destroy fat without harmful gimmicky machines.
I mean, is this even gonna Velcro to this?
Yeah, it's supposed to.
CelluFreeze also claims to help freeze the fat away, and it includes this roller to help break up and separate fat cells.
Massage the targeted area in circular motions for 2 to 3 minutes immediately after you remove the system.
And while the 6-in-1 fat loss machine doesn't use ice to freeze the fat, it promises to lighten your load with high-frequency sonic light that accelerates metabolism.
Wait, turn on the ultrasonic function and drop a few drops of water on the probe.
Oh my gosh, it's going, look at it.
We measured our testers' waists.
Wow.
All right, hold the wire.
Then had them bring their belly busters home and use them per the product directions. After 4 weeks, Haley did lose an inch, but she also lost 3 pounds after getting the flu.
I mean, was it uncomfortable?
No, I just wore my tank top down because I felt like if you wouldn't have, you would have got frostbite.
Lena's measurements were the same.
I think that you have to pair these things with a better routine, because eating mashed potatoes with my left hand and rubbing that on my stomach with my right, I really don't think it's gonna help me.
I should be able to just go out
Dwayne didn't drop inches either.
and lose weight then, right? You know, and I did the rubbing and the massage. I even did with my hands, like kneading dough, you know. Yeah, dough boy. It still turned out to be just really, I didn't really see any progress.
They all said, unless you up your exercise and cut down your calories, all you'll really lose will likely be time.
I could have spent 10 or 15 minutes working out on my butt machine or making a salad instead of 4-minute mashed potatoes.
The manufacturers of both fat freeze products insist their devices work, claiming either the testers didn't use them right or didn't give them enough time. But all we can say is that after 30 days, the testers weren't interested in using them anymore. We put the company's full responses on our website and know that the makers of the Sonic Fat Remover machine did not get back to us with a comment.
Too good to be true.
Yeah,
Sometimes those things are.
If it came in a bottle, hey,
That's it.
that'd be cool.
I didn't hear any of that story. They said mashed potatoes and my mind just started going again. So
I was thinking this weather also today, too good to be true.
Too good to be
we
true.
knew spring had not just suddenly arrived.
Yeah, boy, we put Sunday and today together, at least the first half, and we had a nice set of days.
Yeah.
To see that bright sunshine, it's getting higher sun angle. Obviously, that'll start to warm our temperatures a little bit. But we're back to the rain tonight. Quick moving weather system, nothing like what we had the last 2 weeks with the icy mixture. All rain with this one. Temperatures actually warming tonight. We're going to be in the mid-40s tomorrow morning as you're heading back out to work and school. We will have some leftover showers around, and it'll also be a little bit breezy as well. Keep that in mind. And then by evening, we do start to clear things out, but temperatures will start to fall back as we go through the afternoon. We're back into the 30s by evening with dry conditions. So here's a look at our system now. Accumulating snow, areas of Michigan. If you have travel plans tomorrow morning, perhaps Detroit, things should be clearing out, but they've had 3 to 6 inches. Areas of Wisconsin. For us, we've got a warmer push of air kind of working into this. Some wet snowflakes out east. I mentioned this at 5 and at 6. We may see a little wet snow mixing in. Not putting a lot of stock into that. The radar beam obviously going a little bit higher in the sky there. That's where it's snow before it melts. But we're mainly rain across northeast Ohio, and it is coming down real good in the southwestern half of the viewing area. So from Akron, especially north of town, if you're traveling along Route 8 through that construction zone there, a little rough there as you get up towards Stowe and Hudson now with some heavier rain. That rain is now pushing the greater Cleveland area out towards the Heights on the east side, and then it's let back a little bit out back towards the Oberlin, Grafton, and Lorain area, but we've got another push of heavy rain moving in. These reds and oranges that you're seeing, that is a decent downpour near New London, heading off through the Ashland area that extends down to the south. And the bigger picture showing pretty decent rainfall here over the next couple hours. I think heaviest rain will be really through about the 3 o'clock hour as this wave moves through, but beyond that it'll become a little bit more scattered. And the big picture beyond that shows a quiet weather pattern. We do have an Arctic front lingering off to the north, though. That's holding back just a pool of cold air. Oftentimes during the winter months, we watch for this cold air to settle from the North Pole into Canada. You just need something to drop it into the U.S. after that. This is going to have a brief stay. It's not going to come directly at us. It's going to kind of slide through the Great Lakes, and that will bring us a brief taste of some colder air once again Wednesday and Thursday as it looks right now. So let's take hour by hour. There's the rain as it moves through the area tonight. Here's your wake-up temperatures in the mid-40s tomorrow morning, so pretty nice start, albeit it will be rainy. Rain eventually starts to clear out. We're going to have temperatures around your lunch hour still on the mild side, but that cold front will swing through, and watch how temps kind of go back throughout the evening hours, back into the 30s, and then we're back into the 20s before we know it with clearing skies tomorrow night. Wednesday, a different pattern. We're going to be on the cold side of things, and that Arctic front will make its way through. So we're in the upper 20s to near 30 degrees early, and then we fall back through the 20s with some sunshine and scattered flurries on Wednesday. And that's the trend that we're going to watch on into Thursday as well. So Wednesday, Thursday, mainly dry, some lake effect flurries out there, but we're talking 26 for a high on Thursday. Sunshine prevails after that. I think bright sunny skies Friday and Saturday with warming temps, and then looking pretty mild as we head into next week. We'll be back with sports after the break.
This sports report is sponsored by the people-pleasing people at Serra Auto Park in Akron.
Hi, everybody. It's been a very busy Monday. There is a lot going on around the Cleveland Cavaliers. And remember, they're on the All-Star break, and they're not playing a game tonight. But there are multiple reports saying that the Cavaliers and head coach John Beilein are right now working on an exit strategy that would have him stepping away as the head coach of the team mid-season. Now, it hasn't gone well, no doubt about it. It's a major rebuild, but they're only 14-40, and he just has not made a connection with his players after leaving the University of Michigan. With this story coming out, you wonder if he'll coach the Cavaliers again. They don't play until Friday. It's another case, once again, of a college coach trying to come to the NBA, and it just has not worked.
In order to be successful as an NBA coach, it's not about X's and O's. Any coach in the NBA that makes it to that level, they know X's and O's. It's about being able to relate to your players, being able to connect to your players, and being able to motivate your players. And I know it sounds trivial and silly, but that is a vast majority of the job, is being able to command their attention, command their respect, and command the locker room. And John just wasn't able to do that.
Now let's go to the Indians. You heard from Super Dave Chudowski earlier in our show here tonight, but the story of the day becomes Francisco Lindor coming into the season. And he kind of got us all excited today because he says, hey, listen, I want to be here. I want to win here. And then reports saying that the Indians and Lindor have been having fruitful contract negotiations about working on a multi-year extension. Are they there? No. Are they close? No, and there is a cutoff they want. If there's not a deal by March, because the impending season would be close, then they'll break off talks.
It's like a little mixed feelings, you know, like you want to talk because you want to be here, but then to how long do you want to really talk, you know, because then you just get into the way of working with my teammates. It's a distraction, you know, and that's not right. That's not fair, not for me, for the team, or the front office.
To the Daytona 500, it took 2 days. It took 209 laps to complete, and in the end, Denny Hamlin won it, but that's not the story. You saw that horrific crash earlier in the show. Ryan Newman was in first place during the final lap, but Ryan Blaney's bumper caught the back of Newman's car. His car flipped, rolled, and it became a fiery crash. He was placed in an ambulance, taken to the hospital. Statement from NASCAR: he is in serious condition, but doctors have indicated his injuries are not life-threatening. We appreciate your thoughts and prayers and ask that you respect the privacy of Ryan and his family during this time. To the Browns, they got some money today by cutting players, okay? They got some money underneath the salary cap, $13 million to work with. One of the casualties, a guy that played pretty well for 2 years here, defensive back TJ Carey, but he is gone. Demetrius Harris, he is gone. Eric Kush is gone. Darius Taylor is gone, with more big decisions coming up in the next few days. We end on an amazing note. The greatest running back of all time, Jim Brown. Happy birthday, 84 years old today. And I have to tell you, at the Super Bowl, he looked fantastic. He really did. Remember, he came out with all the great players of the game. And, of course, he's at the top of the list.
And Hollywood star as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that scene in The Dirty Dozen, I mean, unbelievable when he's running through there.
Three the Hard Way was my favorite. You don't remember that one, though. Thank you, Jimmy.
You got it.
Back.
Matt, you say more sunshine is on the way at some point, though.
It is at some point, yeah. I think we'll see a little bit Wednesday, Thursday, but then Friday, I think wall-to-wall sunshine, and Saturday looks good, too. So
that's really
get the
nice
sunglasses
to hear.
ready, right?
Yeah.
Really nice.
Everybody's back to work and back to school tomorrow morning, so
yeah, definitely.
prepared for the rain.
I have Three the Hard Way on DVD if you'd like to see it.
Really?
It's Fred Williamson, Jim Brown, and Jim Kelly.
Fred Williamson was
the Hammer.
Exactly.
That's right.
Sounds like a viewing party is in order.
3 News Go begins at 4:30 a.m.
Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, you can.
Thank you for spending the evening with us. 3 News, the most watched late news in Northeast Ohio.